Eventing in New Zealand, I've actually had a lot of experience over a number of years. I remember going home and saying, you know, I hope those Kiwis don't learn to do eventing, because if they do, they'll get too damn good. And where do we go? We got them too damn good.
Eventing in New Zealand has a proud history with many Olympic and World Championship successes. It also is one of the few sports that men and women compete in equally.
Welcome to the Taupo 3-Day National Championships. I'm Vanessa Vert-Smith and I'll be taking you backstage on Day 2, Cross Country Day. As you can see, conditions here are not exactly ideal. With the cloud that has come down low and created intense fog, there is limited visibility out there. The riders are a little bit nervous about the fact that they cannot see ahead of themselves and the jumps are coming up quite fast.
Cross-country course designer John Nicholson is an accredited international designer and designs at other international events.
You build different fences for different courses and use what goes and what fits where. It's reasonably challenging, but hopefully fair and hopefully safe.
Foggy, hopefully we don't get lost. The ground's chopped up a little bit, but as always I do a great job with the ground here at Taupo.
I've got my Hitia safety vest on, so should something happen I'm well protected.
The National 3-Day Event Championships at Taupo is the final show for the season. Riders and horses must have qualified to compete at their respective levels during the previous 2 seasons. There is a good turnout of competitors, but as with most equestrian events, without the additional help of many volunteers, there would be no event for them to compete in at all.
Today we've got 110 radios, so that's 110 volunteers that are out just on the cross-country course. So that's not taking into account the people that are in the office here scoring and doing the event management type things, and the people that are out cooking lunch and preparing meals for the volunteers and stuff. So, and that's just one day. So overall, I don't know, probably 300 people to run a 3-day. It's a very labour-intensive sport. It takes a lot of people to run a competition.
Heading towards the inner ring water complex is the dark horse for Natalie Page.
I think the officials and everyone did a great job considering the fog and people walking out in front of it and all that sort of stuff. So I think as long as the horses are safe and the riders are safe and you do as much as you can, I think it's a bit the sport that you choose, isn't it?
Besides the many volunteers that make the event what it is, there are also those who have the job of looking after the rules for both Equestrian Sports New Zealand and the FEI.
My job is representing the International Federation to come out here and try and pass knowledge on to ensure that the rules are up to date and that all the sort of latest moves coming from the Federation are understood, and at the same time to assess and test that the officials we have are actually good enough to do the job. And those really are the 2 aspects of my reason for being here. It's no good having a sport where the officials don't know their job or do their job well enough. As the sport gets stronger and there's more money comes into the sport, it's more important that the rules and regulations are appropriately used and used to good effect. So that's what we're trying to do.
My job's like just one part of it. There's plenty of other people that have got just as bigger jobs as I've got to do. So just working with everyone, it's a neat crew of people, and we tend to, lots of the same people. So we always say, same people, different venue, you know, we all rock up to different competitions. So yeah, it's kind of like a family really, it's cool.
One of the main aspects of the official's job is safety for both horse and rider.
That the riders all get through safely and the horses are all well when they leave the grounds and everyone's had a good time.
Out on the course, the judges at the fences are also concerned about safety.
I have the water jump, which always is a crowd pleaser. Unfortunately, people do love to see people diving into the water. That's what I'm doing today, trying to get them safely through the water.
The cross-country not only tests riding ability and horsemanship, but focuses on the ability of athletes and horses to adapt to different and variable conditions of the competition. A course like Taupo challenges principles of training, fitness and riding.
It's always fun to come here, and the standard of your sport is exceptional, And the thing you've got to remember is that you take the cream of the sport back to where the centre of the sport is in the world, and that's in Europe. It's difficult for you to run the sport in many ways, because if you keep taking the cream away, the younger riders haven't got the good riders around them to learn off and understand. It's a moving game all the time. The stars not being here, although they encourage the young riders, you'd like them there to be the goals, if you like, to aim at. But even so, you seem to be able to bring more and more young stars on bit by bit, and the sport is very healthy for New Zealand, very healthy.
Eventing is a tough sport, both mentally and physically, keeping in top form across the 3 days of competition. Part of managing that process is having professionals at the show on hand.
Conditions today aren't particularly demanding. It's a wonderful track here at the Equestrian Centre, so really the horses just need to be fit. It comes at the end of the autumn season, so hopefully all our competitors have had some competing earlier in the previous few months, so that the horses are reasonably fit. Eventing really is the most demanding discipline of the 3 disciplines.
Helping the horse recover quickly from their exertions is important, and ensuring the horse is fit enough for their level of competition is vital in avoiding unnecessary injury.
Horses don't just reach top level overnight, and the work and the effort that goes in from the riders and the owners and the trainers.
The horses are assessed by a vet as they come across the finish line, so they get some information then as to how the horse is doing. It is also then there's a good test of how fit the horse actually is and how well they have done in conditioning it, because if the horses are slow to recover, it's often an indicator that they haven't done enough and the horse isn't fit enough. Sometimes that can also be an indicator if the horse is slow to recover that something is amiss because the horse is in some sort of pain or discomfort. So they should be assessing their horse really for several hours after it comes off, as it cools down. You know, are its limbs all right? Has it got any problems with any joints or anything? Is there any lameness? And is it eating and drinking normally? And then really, it should be a happy horse. You know, soon after it's come off the course.
The cross-country phase of eventing causes horses to exert themselves to maximum levels and puts considerable stress on their bodies.
As soon as they come back and they're removing their boots and checking the horses over, make sure they check the horses' shoes, make sure they haven't moved. There's a lot of torque placed on the shoes with the traction. The sooner they get it looked at, the sooner the chance of soundness for the following day's trot up.
Choosing the correct studs for the terrain is very important for both safety and performance of the horse.
With the horses running cross-country, most of the horses will be having some form of traction in their shoes of studs. Basically that's putting a lot of torque on the horse's feet and making sure that the horses haven't had an interference problem, standing on one of their shoes, popping clinches or buckling, bending or anything along those lines.
They want a horse that's going to stand up to what it's going to do, and I suppose that's confirmation. Its feet, it needs to have good feet. You know, they say no hoof, no horse, and that's right. And they want a good fit, a good strong horse that they can get fit and have fun on.
There's no point in throwing a lot of money, good after bad, if the horse is not sound to begin with. It's hard enough to keep a sound horse sound, never mind starting with a lame one. I believe it all comes down to preparation and having their prior planning. A lot of the top professional riders, they will work out where their final event is, how soon before that they'd like the horse to be shod, and then work back from that to almost the beginning of the season to plan their first shoeing, and so that the horses have had time to have their feet shod. If any problems happen, farriers are all humans, at least there's time to get the horse right and back off to the competition without holding anything up.
Who else helps Mummy with the horses?
Elise and Tess.
Oh, and what's their jobs?
To do studs and check them up.
And what do you do?
Brush their tails and sweep.
Eventing, like most equestrian sports, is a family affair. One of the most important members of the family is the groom.
Making sure the horses go out calm, happy, perfect, so that they can be in the best mind frame for Danny to get on, so that they can do their best for her. When they come back, making sure that everything's done, looked after, iced, made sure that they come back feeling 100%, so that tomorrow they can then go on and be perfect. I think just the pride of actually watching the horse you've worked from dragging out of the paddock to presenting it, watching it go, just watching your work be presented out with the top rider on it is a very proud moment for me.
Being a groom is as much a career as being a professional rider and can bring many opportunities for travel.
Organised through Danny, I'm going to go over to England and work the England season with Blythe Tate, which is very exciting.
It's definitely a team sport. Horse, rider, groom and supporters.
Is Mummy good?
Yes,
How good is Mummy?
really good.
Is she the best?
The course at Taupo is proving to be challenging for many competitors. Eventing, as with many sports, has its risks. There is equipment available for riders to reduce these possible hazards.
The headgear vests are one I think everybody should wear, and I think they're the most valuable assets, and I know I've certainly fallen on a couple with them, and I know they've saved me a few things.
The sport of eventing can be dangerous for horses and riders. The cross-country phase has quite sizable, solid obstacles which do not fall down, increasing the possibility for accidents.
On an everyday purpose, you can wear the vest and you don't even know it's happening. Basically, you have a saddle strap that is attached to your saddle at all times, and you just leave that on your saddle. It's quite handy actually for carrying your saddle around. Then you have a lanyard. Now this lanyard is attached at different lengths depending on how you feel when you, obviously the shorter it is, the faster it'll go off. But we like to have them with a little bit of room so that if you move and you end up around the side of your horse, that you still aren't going to go off. They need a 30 kg force to go off. So you are clipped on to your vest, and it pulls out a key ball, and when that key ball is pulled out, that inflates a cartridge, and that takes 0.15 of a second to inflate, and all around everywhere you're actually inflated. We've got up and around the neck area here, and it does squash, even if you've got low helmets, it still comes up. It's absolutely fine up and around them. And you've got this coming down over your backside area. You've got down the front here. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but as for wearing them, they're so minimalistic, they're so easy to wear. You don't even notice you've got them on, so why not wear one? There we go. So it's inflated around, so you can see it's around the neck, but you've still got a little bit here, comes up and around if we turn around here, and it inflates you, so it lifts you, it moves you off the ground so that you actually still have that movement, but you've got freedom in here, but this whole area is inflated and around your neck, turning around, and that keeps your hips off the ground. And then you just unclip it, and this is what we end up with. You can see a moulded shape. There are different shapes for different riders. So not all riders are long and lean, so you have different models and different shapes for a different rider. So it is quite important that you get the right fit. So I have quite a few different shapes for people, depending on what they're doing. Some people are very much wanting their rib area, so I have ones that come up on an angle around the ribs. And then you've also got them flicking down lower over the back. So this is a very minimalistic model, but as you can see, it goes down and it does squash down quickly. You do feel squashed in when you are inflated on it, but it depends how much you're puffing. If you are 3/4 of the way around the cross-country course, of course you're going to be puffing, and so you're going to fall off and get a fright anyway, and so you do feel quite squashed in by the vest, but it's not going to do you any harm, and it's only going to help you for those even those tiny little falls. You know, you might think that nothing happens, but it's going to help to alleviate injuries in the future, and it's really important. You know, you've only got one back, you've only got one neck. You're going to have those tiny little falls, and you're going to think, oh damn, why did I have that vest on? But they're there for that big fall. You don't know when you're going to have that big fall, and if you can help yourself, then I think you should do it.
Knowing your horse is essential on the cross-country course. Riders need to understand their horse's limits and capabilities, especially on the technical parts of the course.
Always make sure that my gear's really safe. He's got fantastic boots. Always wear a back protector. And obviously you walk your course as well as you can to make sure that you have the safest ride out there.
With the cross-country phase over for many of the riders, it's time to reflect on the day. Eventing is a tough sport, both mentally and physically. It is challenging keeping in top form across the 3 days of competition.
So Angela, tell us a little bit about what happened out there for you today.
Well, I had a great start, and then I was pulled up before the water, or before the big table before the water, and we probably stopped for maybe 40 minutes, and the sun got lower and started to get a bit shadowy out there. So once we started, I had that in mind, and it was quite hard riding into the sun at times, but she was really good.
Can you tell us a little bit about the safety factors that you take into consideration when getting prepared for an event like today for yourself and for the horse?
Well, I have an air vest, which I would value. You make sure the horse is fit enough, fed well, gear's in order, she's fed well. Bracelets.
The leading rider going into the cross-country section was Clark Johnson.
Just gone around clear in the 3-star on Balmoral Sensation, which is very exciting. He was in the lead after the dressage, so we were a few seconds over the time, but it was pretty hard work out there. And then earlier in the day I had 2 really good clear rounds in the 1-star on some young horses that I've got, and in the 2-star unfortunately retired on course Cormier just wasn't feeling quite himself today. It was a bit out of character for him. He was a bit strong, so decided to save him for another day, but on the whole a really good day.
It was quite a tricky course, like a lot of gallop spaces, coming back for combinations, which is a little bit tricky because my horse is a very bold galloper and he doesn't really like coming back for stuff. But he was great, the course rode really well. I think there was a couple of problems out there, I'm not really sure. But no, it was a good track, definitely.
So Fraser, you're obviously still a bit full of running. How did today go for you?
The horse is super. He was bold and he was clear, but very strong. So I had my work cut out for me holding him. So that's why I'm still puffing.
So where were you placed before you started on the cross country?
I was down in 10th. Yeah, he's probably just a bit fit for this, but as I say, it's our first crack at this level. So yeah, very happy with him.
Today is the cross country day of the 3-day event, and it's been a really great day at this level. The fog's cleared just in time for us, and it was a beautiful course designed by John Nicholson. I unfortunately didn't have a good day. My horse jumped beautifully. It was a really tough track and he absolutely nailed it, but I missed a fence. So that means for me I'm eliminated and out of the competition. But apart from that, I was really happy with how the horse went, and I think John always makes beautiful courses that really reward bold riding, real true cross-country courses that, yeah, always a pleasure to ride and always a challenge. And there's been lots of mistakes and stuff out there, but yeah, happy with how my horse went, but really disappointed with myself.
The combination of the weather and the challenging course made for a tough day 2 of the Taupo 3-star. Many riders were eliminated, thinning out the numbers for the show jumping on day 3.